Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So it is a late Sunday evening. It is currently September 8th when I am filming this video, and I realized something. I'm down here about ready to ship out some eBay packages and get some Facebook orders ready to be sent off. Yes, that's right, I have more eBay packages to ship, so that can only mean one thing. My eBay account has still awoken. So I noticed the date, and I noticed that it has been exactly 2 weeks since I performed that little eBay experiment that I did, that I reported on with that YouTube video where I talked about how I started getting sales again overnight. So since that experiment has ended, I have reverted back to doing exactly what I was doing prior to that experiment, which means I am not sending out any offers. I'm not listing any items, which, as I've mentioned before, you guys, eBay is just not my full-time gig anymore. I'm not putting full-time focus on eBay. eBay is kind of like an afterthought platform for me right now, honestly. I'm putting all of my focus on Facebook. I am sourcing specifically for Facebook. I am listing everything first on Facebook. And then if I happen to find items that I feel would best be suited on eBay, only then is when I will, do a listing on eBay. And honestly, I have not even listed those items yet. I've gone sourcing. I've picked up items for eBay, like maybe 1 or 2 things. I still haven't listed them on eBay yet, you guys. I just don't make the money there anymore. I make it on Facebook, so that's where I put my focus. But anyway, after this experiment was over, like I said, I reverted back to everything I was doing, or rather not doing, prior to that experiment. I'm not sending offers. I'm not listing new items. I'm not running any markdown sales, honestly, because I can't run markdown sales because I no longer have an eBay store. So I can't run a markdown sale if I want to. And I am still having positive results after doing that little experiment. So I want to talk to you about it. But first things first, I am going to put my hair up while I do shipping because I'm already hot. Working down in the basement. You'd think it'd be cooler down here, and it is, but I'm still just... There we go. I feel so much better already. So I currently have 4 eBay items to ship out. I'll kind of show you guys what those items are as I'm shipping. And I have, some Facebook stuff to package up. I even have a nut order to package up. So the first item I'm shipping tonight is this eSync Bluetooth. What the heck is this thing? A Bluetooth audio receiver. I have it listed for $12.92, and that's what it sold for, plus the cost of shipping. So that means after my fees and cost of goods and shipping label and all of that, my net on this is gonna be around $11. So if you missed that, video, I will link it down in the video description below. But quick recap, what exactly I did was, since I don't have an eBay store and I can't run a markdown, I just basically put all of my eBay items 50% off for, I keep saying 50% off, it wasn't 50% off. I dropped all of the prices of my eBay items 50% for 7 straight days. Then after that, I raised them back up 30%, and I spent the next weekend, which was the following 3 days, going through and sending out private offers on those items, and that only resulted in approximately 4 more sales. Which, before I get to shipping my next item, I do want to address a comment that I was getting a lot in that video. So there was a lot of people in my comment section that were saying that the act of me dropping my prices 50% was doing nothing but helping to contribute to the race to the bottom problem that eBay already has. And I just wanted to comment on those comments right now. In my opinion, the race to the bottom problem is perpetuated by people that are purposefully listing their items lower than all of the competition and simply leaving their prices there. That is not what I did. I did not go every single item in my eBay store, find the lowest price that everybody had, and purposefully price lower than that, and then keep my price there. That would have been contributing to race to the bottom. Could I have been the lowest price of a lot of the items that sold for those 7 days? It's very possible. But the difference is, I raised them back up again. I did not leave them there. The race to the bottom problem that a lot of sellers are seeing on eBay is everybody is undercutting everybody all the time. And that is the price that you end up setting for your item. It's not just a temporary price decrease to try to give some movement to your eBay items. It's a selling model. Realistically, it's a selling model that eBay sellers have. That is what contributes to race to the bottom. I am not purposefully going in and being the cheapest price of every single item that I list. That wasn't the point. The point was to drop all of my items low enough to start to trigger some sales so that I get some positive movement in my eBay account, because my eBay account was in the toilet, you guys. I don't think I can express enough how much my account was in the toilet. I'm talking my highest sales month prior to this little experiment. My highest sales month was like $300. And that's coming from someone who was easily doing 5 figures. You know, I was doing $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month. And then when I opened my store and I shifted my focus, I stopped listing stuff on eBay. My account slowly started to dwindle. And then when I closed my store, that's where my eBay account was. My eBay account was only a few $100s a month at the most in sales. And then follow that up with the eBay AI gods decided that, you know, at this point, multiple items that were triggering the prescription policy that they have. And I was suspended not once, but twice in a 30-day period. And then after that happened, my store was dead. And my store was so dead after that, I'm talking like maybe one sale a week. I felt like I needed to do something really drastic to try to see if it was possible to reanimate my store, bring it back to life. And with my eBay experience, like I said, I've been on eBay almost 20 years at this point. My eBay experience tells me the only way to do that is to start selling, baby. Start selling. And the only way I knew I could drive that many sales in such a short period of time was to drop my price and basically try to clearance stuff out. Every single retailer that's out there, when they need to move merchandise, they will clearance it out. They will drop the price. That's how retail works. So that's exactly what I did. I knew in order to attempt to wake up my eBay account, I had to get the sales rolling in, and that is just the fastest way to do it. Fire sale, baby. So the next item I'm shipping out is a king size sheet set. So this is not just any king size sheet set. It's one of those split sheets for the, what do you call it? The bed that lifts up and down. So it's a sheet set that is split to go specifically on those beds. I accepted a best offer of $25 on this plus the cost of shipping. So that means after my cost of goods, shipping, seller fees, and all of that, my net on this is about $23. So let's talk results. So before I talk about the 2 weeks after the experiment, I want to talk about the 2 weeks before I began the experiment. So the 2 weeks before the experiment began, in a 2-week period, I had $175 in revenue. After fees and all of that, my net was $104. $104 in net sales over 2 weeks. That's only $50 a week. Then I did the experiment, and I'm not gonna go over those numbers again because I went over all of those numbers in detail in the video. Again, I'll link it in the video description if you missed it. Or I might actually link it in the pinned comment. That might be a little better. This next item is a really good item. This was a brand new in the box crimper. It's brand new, it's completely wrapped up. The buyer that bought this actually requested that I open up the bags and everything because it is brand new, but they wanted to see what the head looked like. But this is a brand new crimper. Crimping tool, what's it called? It's a Tyco Electronics TE Pro Crimper, hand crimper. I took a best offer on it of $170. That's right, $170 was the offer I accepted on this tool. It's a very expensive tool, plus the cost of shipping. After shipping, fees, and seller costs, my net on this tool is approximately $165. So now let's talk about after the experiment. Remember, the 2 weeks before the experiment, my revenue was $175. after the experiment, doing nothing else, not sending offers, not listing new items, not revising listings, not doing anything to bring any sort of activity or favoritism from the algorithm, nothing, my total revenue has been $650. After seller costs and fees, that makes my net sales around $389. That is nearly 4 times the revenue. 4. It's about 3.5, 350% maybe. That is a huge difference. That's a huge, huge difference. In this box right here is a vacuum pump. This pump, I ended up taking a best offer of $25 plus the cost of shipping. And so that makes my net on this pump approximately $25. So now let's point out the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room that says, well, Lindy, if after your experiment was over, you dropped your prices 50% and then you raised them up 30%, well, technically, your prices are still 35-ish% lower than they originally were prior to doing this little experiment. Couldn't the lower price have contributed to this increase in sales in these last 2 weeks? Yeah, that's very, very possible. I am not here to say that this little experiment alone is what 100% has woken up my store. Do I think that it's part of it? Yes, I do. I do think it is part of it, simply because the experience that I have on eBay tells me that sales trigger more sales. That has been how eBay has been for me my entire eBay career, nearly 2 decades. The more you can sell, the more you will sell. Could the overall price drop of roughly 30-35% be a primary factor in these sales? Yeah. Will we ever know for certain which exactly was the primary reason for me having better sales now? No. We will never know. We can't know. And that's kind of, you know, one of the things that sucks about trying all of these little things to try to trigger eBay sales. That's one of the bad things about it. You never know exactly what it was that caused more sales. You could only make assumptions based on whatever variables you have. I'm just here to tell you guys the results. So do with that what you will. But what I do know for certain, the one constant thing that I know for certain between the experiment that I did, the 2 weeks after the experiment, both of those compared to the prior period, the one constant difference is price. I got almost 600% more sales when I dropped the prices 50%. And in the 2 weeks since that experiment, after then raising my prices back up only 30%, which is still lower than my original prices, but higher than 50% off, it still resulted in 4 times or nearly 4 times the amount of sales before that. So the one constant thing that I do see is price. It is about price, especially in this day and age. Like I was saying in that video, in this day and age, price really does drive sales now more than ever. I truly, truly believe that. I've been hearing from a lot of business owners too, not just online sellers. I'm talking brick and mortar businesses. I've been hearing a lot of businesses around here, their foot traffic is slowing down. People are not shopping like they were. As I've told you guys, I'm getting to know the management team at my new favorite bin store that I go source, 95% of the stuff I'm selling. I was just talking to them recently because I went in on a Saturday and it was slow. Like there was hardly anybody there on a Saturday. On a Saturday, when the merchandise is still brand new being brought out. They had almost nobody in the store. And I asked the manager about it. I was like, I'm not usually here on Saturdays. Is it always like this on Saturdays? And he shook his head. He's like, no, it's not like this on Saturdays. Usually we have about 3 times the people. But he explained that they had a really good week the last week, which was Labor Day weekend. And so this week, their sales were just compared to Labor Day weekend. And he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and he looked at me and he goes, everybody spent all their money. They're not going to be back for a while. And so now more than ever, price is king. Like it's always been that kind of thing. It's always, the best price wins. I think now more than ever, we really, really have to pay attention to that. Now I'm shipping a nut order. Yeah, I have this nut order to ship. I'm shipping it out now because it does not need an ice pack. If something needs an ice pack, I will not ship it until like right when I'm going to the post office. But this one order just has nuts. There's no need for an ice pack in it. I've seen a lot of people asking too. They're like, have you quit nuts? Are you not doing nuts anymore? Heck no, I'm still doing nuts. I'm still doing nuts, you guys. See, this person ordered 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of pecans. Thank you for your order. Yeah, like I told you guys, I always have my nut and candy website linked down below in the video description if you want to go see what kind of nuts and treats I've got. Yeah, I just had to take a little bit of a break towards the end of summer from doing like the farmer's market and stuff because school was starting. I had all of these other obligations. It seemed like every weekend there was something different. Like my dad would come into town, or I would have friends from out of state that were staying at my house, and there was always things going on in the weekend. So I had to kind of like take a little bit of a break from events, but Christmas season is about ready to gear up and I have lots and lots of ideas. I also think I might go live and roast some nuts with you guys. What do you think? Should I go live and roast some nuts with you guys? Let me know, because I have new things coming. Now that it's starting to finally cool off, I can start ramping up doing all the candy and things I want to do. I'm about ready to relaunch my chocolate covered pretzels with some toffee on top. Yeah, anything chocolate. I've been avoiding like a plague because it's been so hot, but now it's starting to cool off. So I'm about ready to restock my chocolate pretzels with toffee bits. And I have chocolate covered gummy bears I'm gonna be restocking because I don't have to worry about those melting. So yeah, I might go live while I'm roasting and kind of hang out with you guys and let you know some of the things coming down the pike. So now that I've seen these positive results and I feel like I kind of have a grip on eBay again, a little bit of a grip on eBay. Am I going to start putting more energy in eBay? I mean, I'd like to, but I think how I'm going to approach eBay now is going to be very different from what I was doing before. Like I said in that video where I talked about my little experiment, I think I'm going to be approaching eBay very, very differently because there was a lot of things that I realized after having taken items off of eBay and selling them on Facebook. There was some things that I realized. One of the things that I really realized is how much I cannot stand capital being tied up on my shelves while I wait for stuff to sell. I cannot stand it. After having seen how much faster I can sell stuff on Facebook, listing stuff on eBay almost feels silly to me because I'm like, why on earth am I putting this on eBay if I could put it on Facebook and sell it faster? Why? Why am I doing that? It makes no sense in my head now because I've seen the difference. So when I say how I approach selling on eBay differently, this is what I mean. I mean the only stuff I'm gonna be putting on eBay is stuff that I have little to no money in. Speaking of Facebook, I have some Facebook orders I need to prepare to ship. So basically what I do for Facebook is I let people claim items all week long, and then at the end of the week, which is Sunday now, I take their stuff, I box it up, and I weigh it, and then I get a shipping quote for them, and then I invoice them for their shipping costs separately from all of the other stuff, because like I said, everybody pays within 24 hours. So this person has already paid for this stuff, but now I just need to send them an invoice for the shipping cost, and then I will ship after they pay that. So I have to prepare to ship this. Is this box gonna be big enough? Yeah, that'll be big enough. If you missed it, I will also link this video down in the video description, but I wanna do more of these like super ultra cheap bin shopping videos. I did a video where I went to 50 Cent Day and I found almost $400 worth of stuff on 50 Cent Day. I paid $12 and I got almost $400 worth of stuff. And I want to say more than half of those items are eBay items because they're really niched. They're like water filters that only, fit a certain kind of refrigerator, and like a pasta press that only goes to one kind of pasta maker. And the odds of my Facebook customers actually having that pasta machine and wanting that plate for the amount of money I want to get out of it, it's just very slim. Crap, this box might not be big enough. Well, maybe if I'll put another box on top of it. That's what I'll do. I'll make a box out of a box. I'll do a Frankenbox. So let's just say that I went sourcing and I found these items and I list them on eBay, and let's say that if I list them on eBay, I could potentially make $200 in revenue, and I only spent $8. Let's say the other $4 worth of stuff I put on Facebook and sold it on Facebook, but the rest of it had to go on eBay. I'm not gonna be mad. I would not be mad about $8 sitting on the shelf for a year. You know what I mean? $8 spread amongst 15 items listed on eBay. I'm not gonna be mad about that. So those kind of items I will let sit on eBay and wait for the, can't see you. You know, $8 worth of merchandise in 15 listings just sitting on eBay waiting for the right buyer. That I don't mind. Come on, Frankenbox, work with me. There we go. See? Frankenbox. Because I do see the value in that. I do see the value in taking 1 hour out of my week, going to 50 Cent Day, digging in a bin for an hour, and finding $200 to $300 worth of stuff to put on eBay, and only having like $10 a week tied up in that. To me, that's worth it, because theoretically, I could sell one of those items and have it pay for everything else. So that means that everything else that's sitting on eBay is pure profit. So I think that's gonna be my model for eBay moving forward. eBay's just not gonna be a place where I have capital tied up anymore. It seems silly now. And I do want your feedback. Let me know what you think. Do you think that my eBay strategy moving forward is a good one? What would you do differently? And I'm sure that someone out there is probably thinking, well, what about health and beauty? What about going back to health and beauty on eBay? I did think about that, you guys, but honestly, after going through all of that suspension stuff with prescription strength items, honestly, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go back to health and beauty, because the items that I got flagged for, I thought were innocent. They weren't prescription. I thought that I was perfectly fine putting them on eBay. And frankly, now I'm afraid. All right, so while I prepare this shipping quote, I'm gonna close out this video. I wanna know how your eBay sales are. Have you tried anything like I tried in order to attempt to bring some life back to your eBay store? Let me know, because I'm really interested to see how everyone else's store is doing. I do also feel like one of the things that is a good thing and a bad thing about being a reseller is that markets are always changing. Things are always different than they were even a year ago, which means that we cannot be complacent. And honestly, sometimes I wish that in reselling, we can become complacent, because it's exhausting having to come up with new things to try, new things to do, having to adapt constantly. It gets exhausting. I feel like so many times I will get brain fatigue just from trying to figure stuff out. It's just, it's hard. It's hard. And some people might be able to argue that that is just how entrepreneurship, that's how entrepreneurship is. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. Let's just say that. There are some people that would argue that being an entrepreneur is all about being able to adapt and figure things out, that you can never become complacent as an entrepreneur. But sometimes, you know, we just want to just chill in our ways a little bit and not have to constantly figure things out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that is my little spiel. I just wanted to follow up with that little experiment that I did and let you guys know exactly how it's going. So far, so good. The sales are still coming in. I'm a-okay with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video and you appreciate my transparency, please do make sure to hit that thumbs up before you leave. I greatly appreciate it. It also helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, so I love you for it. Don't forget to check the video description. I always put a lot of useful information in there, including every video that I might have referenced in this video. as well as any links. So if you want to go check out my Facebook page and see how exactly I'm selling stuff on that page, you can see it done in real time by clicking on that link. I also have my nut and candy site down there as well if you want to check and see what exactly I'm selling at my farmer's market booth. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already, and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.